All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I've had a few people that have messaged me or just made a comment on one of my videos. What type of stuff do you buy? All right, and that's a great question. Very seldom do I do the videos where I showcase some of my cherry picks. You know, certain coins I buy, and these folks said they just want to get a general idea of what I look for from my perspective. Now, here's the only problem with that is that the individual kind of styles and desires and collecting styles, that sort of thing, changes from person to person. So just because I cherry pick, say for instance, Liberty v Nichols, okay, it doesn't mean that you should either. It's just something that maybe I like to collect into. I know there's a few series that I've wanted to really sink my teeth into, but because of how expensive it gets to tackle three or four different directions of collecting, it's kind of cost prohibitive. But there are times that I come across a coin shop. The Central States Numismatic Show was this past weekend in Chicago, Illinois. Unfortunately, I'm here in California. Couldn't quite make it out there. But me and the family, we made a trip out to Monterey, California, and visited a really nice older, very it's a husband and wife. They're very along in the years. They operate a shop called Carmel Stamp and Coin, which is in a tiny little town called Carmel by the Sea. Very nice area, very high end ritzy area. Not exactly my place to kind of hang out, but I had the ability to go in there. My wife was actually talking to the wife of the owner, and I was inside the store looking at some long boxes. Not necessarily wanting to spend hundreds of dollars, but a few hundred is fine. And you guys know me, maximizing and stretching out the $200 or $300 that I had budgeted for this excursion means a lot to me. So here are a few of my cherry picks. First and foremost, this is a coin I had showed off, I believe, just over a month ago. I picked this up in Monterey as well. Actually, not Monterey. It's a town called Pacific Grove, which is near Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz and Monterey are really close to each other, probably about 35-40 minutes with decent traffic. Traffic's just horrendous there in the Bay Area. But this is that 1801 Bolivia for Realis that I picked up for $80. It's got a little bit of a either misaligned die issue, which was pretty commonplace on these older coins. But yeah, he wanted to take another look at that as well. Hopefully a little bit clearer pictures this time around, but yeah, not too bad. I like picking up these old Spanish cobs and 8 and 4 reales and some of the old stuff that, as long as they look decent and they're not all destroyed, which a lot of them are, it would be something I would be interested in picking up. And for this one right here, which is a little bit smaller denomination, it's a pretty good coin just to have because these will go up in time, and they're just a really great collectible with a lot of history. So that's what I got there from about a month and a half ago. All right, so the name of the game when I walked into the shop was, okay, I wanted to look at Buffalo Nickels because I have a Buffalo Nickel album that I wanted to fill up and not necessarily pay a bunch of money to buy graded examples and crack them out. So I went in there with relatively decent expectations. Ended up finding, first and foremost, let me go ahead and blow it up a little bit here. Here's a 1936 Buffalo, which looks to be in really nice shape. I would say this is a really solid AU condition piece. Lots and lots of detail. You can see the San Francisco Mint. And yes, I did check these all for repunched mint marks, 2 feathers, and double dies and things like that, and came away with none of those. But that's okay. That wasn't the main kind of idea for this trip. It was to find decent pieces to go into this album, which I've kind of learned to live because some of the coins, like the 13 S Type 2, is quite expensive once you get into like VF and up. Okay, and that was kind of like the grade I wanted to stick out for this particular album. And it's a full date run from 1913 to 38. So this 36S is definitely going to go in there. I think it's the perfect piece for a 30s higher grade step up type of level. I didn't want to quite go into mint state. It would just kind of throw off the entire album, but I did want to stay with coins that exhibited some sort of circulation wear because it'll fit the theme from VF to AU. I think it's a perfect kind of mix for a lot of those. So this is a pretty good piece to start out with. Here's also found a 38D, although it has one carbon spot right there on the braid. And, this, oh, by the way, the 36 ended up getting that for a really bargain price of about, what, $3. These were all actually, believe it or not, I actually have all of the original packaging they were in. They weren't in 2x2s, they were in these little envelopes here. Some of them are a little bit more yellow and older than others, but as I come across them, you'll see how much I paid for them. The 36, I believe, was not in a holder. This was just in a little cup with a bunch of other buffaloes. This one just stood out because it looked good, and I got it for $3. And this one also was in that cup as well. I got this one for $5. And again, this one has a carbon spot right on the braid. The braid kind of hides it a little good, a little bit better on this one. But if it wasn't for that carbon spot, this would probably be a low mint state, probably 62 level of coin, lots of luster, really, really nice piece for that album. And by the way, as I go through and complete through the album and I add pieces to it, I'll show it to you guys until it's completely completed. So we got those two. We also have a 1929. This one is, what is that? A D. So we got a 29D. This one, I believe, was in one of these little envelopes here. Nope, 29S is what it is. It's not a D. But this is just, again, another coin that fits that VF to AU profile. This one, again, is a really nice higher grade example. I would say this is probably more of an XF45, maybe AU50 level. Again, it's a fit right in there. It's all original, never been cleaned or played around with. But yeah, that's just a fantastic example there of a late 20s edition full horn. Okay, so anything with a full horn is obviously a huge plus to me. But yeah, that's another one that I did get there. And coming up next, we have 1928. This one is, I believe, a P. This is a P Mint 1928. This one right here, obviously, compared to the previous coins, okay, there was the 29S, shows quite a bit more wear. Now, once you get deeper into the 20s, and it doesn't matter what mint you have, whether it's a Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, a lot of these coins will get a little bit tougher in a sense, like finding one, with a full horn, like this one pretty much does. This one's probably more of a VF30, somewhere around there. It does have a little bit of a scratch there. But overall, this will fit in just nicely into that album, which, again, we're not blowing it away on condition. No mint state examples are ever going to be in there. I've come to the conclusion that I wanted to focus on a specific grade range that I think is not only going to satisfy me, but if it ever came down to the time where I need to sell it, it's going to be highly liquid. It's going to be able to sell immediately because there's just a lot of key dates to help support and buoy the value of this well-collected series. So we got 28 there. The next one that we have here is, oh wait, this is the 29S. I gotta look in here. Let's see. So here's what I paid for the 28. Came out to 7. So he wrote down the price on them. Let's see. This is a 29. This is the 29S. Let's see, full horn. It shows definitely a lot more circulation. What I like about this one, it's got some lamination right across there. So it's got that striation that you see right there, giving it a little bit of extra personality. And that's what I like from these particular coins. The more personality, the better. Okay, so this particular example I ended up paying $7 for. The other 29. Let's see. What is this one? This is the one that was in the paper envelope. This is the 29D. All right. So the 29D, believe it or not, I found because this one right here I found in that small little change cup. I got this one for $5. This one for $7. San Francisco, always a little bit tougher mint. And let's see the next one that we have here. This is actually a beautiful one here. We have a 1930, and this one is a San Francisco. This is kind of like that date where things begin to get a little bit tough as far as grade and affordability, things like that. This particular coin right here is an AU, and as you can tell, the prices are going up. Paid $22 for this one, which is a pretty big jump from that 36S I showed you earlier. But yeah, I mean, I love this. I love the look of this coin. This is going to be perfect for that album. And yeah, it's by the way, I transferred them into these clear 2x2s for this video, so that way you guys can see it without me putting on gloves and all that stuff. But yeah, full horn, low end AU, probably AU 53 is what I kind of figured this one to land at. Again, very beautiful, all original coin. That's going to look good in that album. We're getting a little bit tougher dates here. We have a 1918, and this one, what is this one? This is a Denver. It's a 1918 Denver with some lamination, detached lam, or strike through here on the reverse. Again, you know, really giving it the personality that I like. As far as grade, this one is VF20. You can see probably about 3/4 of a horn there. So again, that's going to fit in perfectly with the album. There might be a period of time later on down the road I really want to upgrade this coin to, say, a VF30 or 35. I'll try and do that. But when you get up into the much higher grades, the prices go up tremendously. I paid $40 for this one here. And he put in fine. I'd say it's pretty close more to a VF20 because of the amount of horn detail on there. So that's just a really nice, good looking, honest piece. Again, he had other examples that had corrosion and scratches and, you know, they were cleaned and all that. And he did a really good job of notating it on the these little envelopes, which, by the way, I'm not a big fan of these, only because, well, they don't provide the best kind of safety, but, you know, he's an old school guy, and just had them in there. So there you go. It's an 18D. And we have a couple more left here. Here's a 17. I really like this one here. Believe it or not, 17, 18, and 19 are 3 bargain dates in a much higher condition. This one right here, and I'll let you guys take a look, and you can just kind of guess on your own what grade you would assign for this one. Again, yeah, I would probably shoot for maybe a VF 20, 25. This one has a little bit more horn detail compared to that 18D that we saw previous, but boy, it sure does have a much better detailed date there. You could read all of the numbers. The 18, you could see quite a bit more worn down. I already checked. It's not a 1918 over 7, unfortunately. That would be a very expensive coin. But there you go. That's another good one. Again, fits the overall general makeup of my album and this particular collection. So yeah, this one right here ended up with a $9 buy from Carmel Stamp and Coin. Yeah, crazy. One of the few dealers that exist out there that still deals in collectible postage stamps. You're not going to see that for too much longer, I guarantee it. And then finally, we're going to end it off on this beauty right here. A 1920 with some improper alloy mix. It's got that woody toned effect on there. A really nice, strong example. You can even see it on the reverse as well. I would say this is a very, very sharp XF40 grade range. Again, this is going to be a really good looking piece in that album. I ended up taking this one home for a $20 bill. All right, and then he has it as AU. I think I'm a little bit more tougher on the grade of this one at about XF40, maybe 45 on its best day. But yeah, it's another good one. Again, these coins are not for sale. They are bought with intent for an album that I'm going to be putting together and then storing away. And then, I'll check it out and look at it and possibly do some future upgrades. And that's the name of the game in numismatics. All right, so I bought two completely spur of the moment, just, out in left field coins. But I bought these and I figure out what I'm going to do with them. Okay. Yeah, I saw them and I'm like, wow, these are pretty nice coins. So we have a 1864 large motto 2-cent piece. Beautiful coin. Again, you can see some of like the protected mint red in certain areas closest to the devices. But yeah, this thing is incredible. This coin has a lot of detail, but that's not the big reason why I bought this. It's actually what's on the reverse. And no, this doesn't have a doubled die or a repunch date. But let's see if we get in just a hair closer. Yeah, you guys see what I see? You see a lot of the major die cracks that go all the way around the coin. Right there, united. You see a big old hefty crack with some major chipping right there at the base of the A and states, and it just kind of snakes its way around. And then you have a little bit of general weakness, maybe a filled die right here at the 2 cents part of the design. But yeah, this is just a pretty looking coin. This is going to end up going into my my 7070 typeset album as a upgrade. Sorry, that's my camera kind of shifting lenses. But yeah, this is a really cool coin. This one right here ended up getting a little bit of a discount. So I got this one for $65. XF Plus, it's even noted as being great late die state with many reverse breaks. So that's what we got on this one. It's a good looking coin. I like it. And this is going to go right into that typeset album, which I don't have anything in the 2-cent piece. Copper. And there you go. We got one. And then finally, this one right here, I saw one of these for sale a good while ago in two places. One on Northeast Coin. I don't know if it's still there or not, but I think they were asking $300 or so for it. This is a 1858 Flying Eagle cent. This is those thick white cents. It's copper nickel. But I'll let you guys kind of take a look at it, and then if you see what I see, then you'll know why I bought it. But yeah, this one is actually a much higher grade than it looks. Okay, and the big reason why is that this is a struck through error. Okay, you can see a lot of the weakness in the tail feathers, the beak area, the tip of this wing right here, and then some of the lettering around the edge of the devices there, all greatly affected by the strike through. But furthermore, there is also quite a bit of weakness on the reverse as well. No, this is not an underweight planchet, nor is it a tapered planchet. This is just a lot of strike through. There was a lot of grease and other different types of debris mixed in there on the dies before this thing was ever struck. Yeah, this, believe it or not, is a technical graded XF, even with all the weakness there. Strike through errors, that sort of thing, does have no bearing on the overall technical grade of a coin. So even though this coin looks like it could grade a lot lower than that because it looks like the coin appears to have been worn quite a bit more, again, has no bearing whatsoever on the technical grade because it is considered more of an error than it is just circulation wear. All right, so that's pretty cool. Again, I've only seen maybe two or three of these in my lifetime that sold in graded plastic, and they usually run about $250 to $300. Ended up scoring this one at $140, and it says weak strike. All right, so that's what we got there. But that was the final coin out of this bunch. Many thanks again to Carmel Stamp and Coin. They are located in Carmel by the Sea, which is right near Monterey, California. If you're in the area, go ahead and check them out. They're really the only game in town. Excuse me, husband and wife, phenomenal people. They have a beautiful dog as well. But yeah, I just wanted to, showcase a few of my latest finds from our last trip out of town. But that's going to go ahead and do it, guys. I'm Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. That was a pleasure to talk about those items with you. And as always, you cats have been really cool. Yeah, you see this right here? This part right here? I actually dropped a little bit of acetone in that spot, and it did away with the varnish coating of this desk right here. So yeah, that was I don't know if you remember that. That was from I don't know. I think it was like 6 years ago or something. Silly old stupid me. I dropped a little bit of acetone right there, and I have not repaired it or done anything to this table. It's just, whatever. But that's gonna go ahead and do it. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch with you cats later with more coin stuff. You better believe it. All right, have a good evening, guys. Take care.